The city pulsed with life. A symphony of noise echoed through the concrete canyons. Cars honked, engines roared, and crowds bustled along the sidewalks. Every corner buzzed with activity. But beneath this vibrant surface, a storm brewed. Danger lurked in the shadows, threatening to disrupt the delicate peace. The city held its breath, unaware of the impending crisis. A crisis that would demand heroes. The city was a melting pot, a tapestry of dreams and ambitions. It was a place where unlikely heroes could be forged in the fires of adversity, and it was about to call upon its champions. Fate had a plan, a convergence of paths destined to change everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for the Veteran Warrior channel. In a crowded auditorium, Ant Middleton commanded the stage. His voice boomed, igniting a fire in the hearts of the audience. He spoke of resilience, of tapping into that inner strength. Every word resonated with power, a testament to his indomitable spirit.
Across town, I pushed young athletes to their limits. I barked orders, each syllable dripping with unwavering belief. Failure was not an option. I instilled in them the grit to overcome any obstacle, to rise above every challenge.
Meanwhile, David Goggins led a group of runners through the city streets. Sweat poured down his face as he urged them onward. He preached the gospel of self-discipline, of embracing pain to achieve greatness. His energy was infectious, pushing everyone beyond their perceived limitations. TCAE, a master of the water, stood poolside. He watched his students navigate the blue expanse. He saw their struggles, their triumphs. He taught them to be fluid, adaptable, to overcome any current life through their way. His words were calm yet powerful, like the ocean itself.
In a corporate boardroom, I commanded attention. My words were sharp, precise, cutting through the corporate jargon. I spoke of discipline, of ownership, of taking control of your destiny. My message resonated with the executives, a stark reminder of the battles fought and won in the boardroom and beyond.
These 5 men, each a leader in their own right, were about to face a challenge unlike any they had encountered before. Their paths, once parallel but separate, were about to intersect in a crucible of courage and determination. They were about to become unlikely allies, united by a common purpose. As each man concluded his day, a sense of unease settled upon them. They couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. It was a primal instinct, honed through years of facing danger head-on. Little did they know, their instincts were about to be confirmed.
A message flashed across our phones, a beacon cutting through the mundane. It was a call to action, a plea for help. City Hall, the heart of our city, was under threat. Hostages were taken and time was running out.
Without hesitation, we sprang into action. My face a mask of determination, I barked orders to my team. Nick Lavery, a steely glint in his eyes, gathered his gear. I, my voice a low growl, prepared for battle.
Each hero, now united, was ready to face whatever lay ahead, their resolve as strong as ever. Section 3, Convergence at City Hall.
TC Ave, ever the strategist, plotted the fastest route to City Hall.
Jocko Willink, a man of action, wasted no time in reaching for his weapon.
They were soldiers, warriors, leaders, and they were ready to answer the call. The city lights blurred as they raced towards the city center, a symphony of sirens wailing in the distance. Each man, driven by an unshakable sense of duty, pushed himself to the limit. They were about to face the unknown together, united by a common enemy. They arrived at City Hall from different directions, their vehicles screeching to a halt. They emerged, grim-faced and ready, their eyes scanning the scene for threats. The air crackled with tension, the silence broken only by the distant shouts of police officers. Section 1, Silent Recognition.
Ant Middleton, ever the leader, took charge. His eyes, hardened by years of experience, met the gaze of each man in turn. He saw in them the same steely determination, the same unwavering commitment to duty. They were strangers, thrown together by circumstance but bound by an unspoken code. Nick Lavery, his athletic build radiating an aura of quiet strength, nodded in acknowledgement. He had faced countless challenges in his life, both physical and mental, but this, he sensed, was different. This was a battle that would test them all to their core.
David Goggins, his face a mask of fierce determination, remained silent. His reputation as a man who pushed himself beyond human limits preceded him. He had stared down fear and emerged victorious. He was ready to do so again.
Section 2, Unlikely Alliance.
TCAV, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding around them, surveyed the scene with a practiced eye. He was a master strategist, a tactician who thrived in the face of adversity. He would find a way, as he always did.
Jocko Willink, his military bearing evident in his every movement, stepped forward. He was a man of action, a leader who inspired others to greatness. He had faced down enemies on the battlefield, and he would face down this threat with the same unwavering resolve.
"We've got a situation here," Ant Middleton stated, his voice firm and authoritative. "Hostages are trapped inside, and it's our job to get them out." He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. "We may be from different worlds, but we're united by a common purpose today."
Section 3, Breaching the Bastion.
"What's the plan?" Nick Lavery asked, his voice laced with urgency.
Time was of the essence, and they needed to act fast.
"We need to get eyes inside," TCAV interjected, his voice calm and measured. "We need to know what we're dealing with."
And we need to establish communication with the hostage takers. We need to understand their motives, their demands.
"Right," he said, his voice firm. "TCAV, you're with me. We'll scout the perimeter, find a way in. Jocko, you take Nick and David, see if you can get some intel on the hostage takers."
Section 4, Into the Fray. The team moved with precision, their steps echoing in the tense silence. They were soldiers, athletes, leaders, each bringing their unique skills to the table. They were an unlikely alliance forged in the crucible of crisis, but they were ready. Inside City Hall, fear and chaos reigned. The hostages huddled together, their faces pale with terror. They clung to hope, a flickering flame in the darkness. They prayed for a miracle. They wouldn't be disappointed.
Ant nodded, his mind already mapping out potential entry points, escape routes, every possible scenario. He could hear the faint sound of shouting coming from behind the mayor's office door, a stark reminder of the stakes involved, the lives hanging in the balance. "Security cameras are down," TCAV whispered, his voice barely audible above the hum of the building's air conditioning. "But there's a back entrance to the mayor's office. Might be our best bet." They navigated the labyrinthine corridors of City Hall, their steps muffled by the plush carpeting, their eyes constantly scanning for any sign of movement, any clue that could give them an advantage. He could feel the weight of TCAV's gaze on his back, the silent understanding passing between them, a language honed through years of facing danger. Section 1, Eyes on Target. Ant Middleton moved with practiced stealth, his senses on high alert.
Meanwhile, Jocko Willink, Nick Lavery, and David Goggins huddled in a darkened office down the hall. They worked with the quiet efficiency of seasoned professionals, their fingers flying across their phones, their faces illuminated by the cold glow of their screens. Information was their weapon, and they were determined to arm themselves to the teeth.
"His name is Frank Davis," Jocko stated, his voice low and steady. "Ex-military, dishonorably discharged. History of domestic disputes, restraining order filed by his ex-wife a year ago."
Nick scrolled through a series of online articles, his brow furrowed in concentration. "The daughter, her name's Sarah. She's 18, just graduated high school. Seems like she was caught in the middle of the custody battle."
David, his gaze fixed on a photograph of Frank Davis, remained silent. He studied the man's face, the hard lines around his mouth, the desperation in his eyes. He recognized the signs of a broken man, a man pushed to the edge, and he knew that desperation could make him unpredictable, dangerous.
Back at the mayor's office, Ant and TCAV had reached the back entrance. It was a heavy steel door, reinforced no doubt to withstand any number of threats.
"We need to get in there, but we need to do it smart. We go in guns blazing, we risk escalating the situation, putting those hostages in even more danger."
There's a small window panel at the top. It's designed for visual checks, but it might be enough to get a look inside.
As Ant carefully made his way onto TCAV's shoulders to peer through the window panel, a commotion erupted at the front of City Hall.
"Let her through. She's the key to ending this peacefully."
A young woman, her face pale and streaked with tears, was escorted through the police cordon. Sarah Davis, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and determination, walked with a strength that belied her young age. She had come to face the monster her father had become, to try and reach the man she once knew, the man she still loved. The stage was set for a tense standoff, a battle for hearts and minds. The heroes, their skills and experiences converging in this crucible of crisis, held the fate of the hostages in their hands. They had faced countless challenges before, but this one, they knew, would test them like never before. Inside the mayor's office, tension crackled like static electricity. Ant Middleton, peering through the window panel, watched as Frank Davis paced like a caged animal, his finger twitching nervously on the trigger of his gun. The hostages huddled together, their faces pale with terror. It was a scene of chaos and despair. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged. Sarah's voice, though trembling slightly, resonated with a daughter's love, cutting through Frank's rage like a beacon of light. She spoke of forgiveness, of second chances, of the family they could still be. Her words, raw and honest, chipped away at the wall of anger Frank had built around himself. The heroes, listening intently to the exchange, held their breath. They had confronted countless dangers before, faced down enemies with unwavering courage, but this situation, this was different. This was a battle fought not with bullets and brawn, but with empathy and understanding. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, a shift occurred. Frank's shoulders slumped, the gun in his hand trembling slightly. He turned towards Sarah, his eyes bloodshot and filled with a mixture of shame and longing meeting hers. In that moment, the heroes knew they had won. The crisis, like a storm finally passing, left a city shaken but not broken in its wake. The hostages, reunited with their loved ones, emerged into the sunlight, forever marked by the ordeal, but forever grateful for the heroes who had saved them. The heroes, their work done, melted back into the city, their unlikely alliance fading into the annals of unsung heroism. They didn't seek recognition or reward, for their true reward lay in knowing they had made a difference, that they had answered the call to courage when it mattered most.